this one more time. All right, what's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is having a great Christmas season. I just want to say I'm overwhelmed by the amount of traffic this video has received. The one about starting the prep on the door panels, fixing the crack, and painting them. I log onto YouTube one day and I have 30 plus notifications and all these new subscribers. And I go to the video itself and I have over 3,000 views on it. And I was not expecting this kind of traffic. I feel bad for keeping you all waiting. I've been sitting on this footage for over a year now, but I've been in school, I've been changing careers, and then of course with all the COVID stuff, things have been pretty hectic the last year. They've been good, but they've been hectic. And so I haven't really I sold the Jeep that these door panels and doors were going on, so I haven't really prioritized this. But I also know what it's like to watch a video series on something you're interested in, and it doesn't get finished. It sucks. And so I think I owe it to you guys. You all have stuck around and kept pushing and being persistent, and I think I owe it to you to finish these videos. So I am working on editing the video about fixing the crack today, and then hopefully I'll start on the paint one sometime this week or next. I go back to school on the 18th, and I hope to have both those videos finished for you. In fact, I'm using this video as a intro to the crack video. So you're gonna see what I went through to fix the crack on my door panels shortly. The results aren't perfect. This is my first time doing anything like this. I kind of, looked at some stuff online, but this is designed as like an educational thing, not just for me, but for everyone. People can throw in their tips and hints in the comments. I have things I would have done differently. In fact, I have a 2005 Rubicon I just bought a few months ago. The skid plate, there's a new one sitting over there for it. Both the doors have cracks in them, and I thought about using what I've learned and fixing those, but I'm not sure yet. So anyways, I'm going to be starting that crack video for you guys shortly. I just want to throw out too, if you're interested in a build, I'm going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff to this Rubicon. I'm going to be doing, Weld and cross member, full tummy tuck or skid plate tuck, adjustable control arms, track bars, geometry correction brackets for the rear axle. Like there's going to be a lot of cutting and welding and building involved with this Jeep. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, I'd be happy to document it. I have a build thread going on one of the Jeep forums, and I'll link post to the build thread for the Jeep that I was working on with the door panels, so you kind of see my pictures and post-to-post updates. But anyways, if you want me to document the build on this Rubicon, like it's not just gonna be some cheap throw on some stuff build, like it's gonna be an honest to goodness build. Let me know in the comments and I'll start a series on it. I hope as I switch careers to free up more time. I've been doing this a long time, not as long as a lot of people, but I know my stuff and I'd be happy to share my results with y'all. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking now and we'll get to fixing the crack on those door panels. Thanks again for watching. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, all right? Okay, so I hate to break everyone's hearts, but as I was going through the footage to edit, the first little clip regarding fixing the crack is not there. I have no idea where it is, except oblivion. But it's okay, because all I was talking about was just kind of prep and what I was planning on doing, so I'll explain it here. What I was planning on doing was I was going to take some masking tape, like blue painter's tape, place it over the crack. The texture is very similar to like the door panel texture on the TJs. And so I was going to do that, and I was going to flip it over and use JB Weld and fill in the crack. And just let gravity kind of feed the weld into it and the tape would stop it. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out as well as I'd hoped. And that's more evident when I actually paint the door panels. So what I would have done differently, JB Weld, you have to mix it and apply it. So there's no pressure. You can't really apply pressure to put it into the crack. So I think what I'd do differently is I would use like some sort of like RTV I would use something that comes out of a tube that has a strong bonding force, and I would actually feed that tube along the crack and push, so it's forcing the adhesive into the crack all the way. Because just relying on gravity, you know, things get stuck up, and it just didn't quite. And you'll see that later on. You'll see a few holes and stuff where I go, oh, that didn't turn out quite as well as I'd hoped. So that's one of the things I would have done differently. The other thing is, I would have taken off the weather stripping on the top of the door. It's stapled in there. I would have pulled the staples out and completely removed that, because that's kind of what puts stress on that joint. And before I filled in that crack, or after I filled in that crack, I then would have used JB Weld and like some mesh, like that plastic mesh stuff. I would have put in some JB Weld and that mesh stuff to help reinforce the strength so it couldn't spread apart. Then I would have reapplied that weather stripping and stapled it back in. So that's what I would have done differently in regards to fixing the crack. Like I said, once it's painted, it doesn't look bad, but you can definitely tell it's not perfect. And I think that's what I would have done differently. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna get to the part where I start applying the JB Weld to the back of the door, and you'll see my process from there. All right, guys, so I went ahead and filled that pretty good, mixed it all up, and it's starting to harden, but it's still watery enough that I'm pretty sure it's seeping into the crack. It's starting to harden up now, but it's still watery enough. It's forming to it's forming, so to speak. So hopefully, that's weird, that little, like, that's so wacky. You guys seen that like blue stuff pop up on the screen? Anyways, so I'm hoping it's still watery enough that it's seeping into those cracks. I have the tape on the other side. I also put some cross pieces across it just to make sure I'm holding it into place, but I think this should do it. So we're gonna sit and let this dry for like 15 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and see how it looks. Alrighty, well, I have let it cure for a good while now. I guess we'll see how it looks. We're gonna take the tape off and see. Oh. Hopefully it turned out all right. Let's take a look here. These were just to kind of fasten everything into place. Sorry, I probably didn't catch any of that. Oh man. Well, it doesn't look like it turned out so well. There's a good texture to it, but it didn't quite fill the crack like I'd hoped. Which means I'm probably gonna have to come in here on the front side and fill it in. You can see Man, I don't know how to get this thing to focus. I'm sorry, guys. So it looks like there's several spots in there where it didn't quite fill. So I'm gonna have to go in there and fill all that in better. But it's not too bad. It's got the texture still there, which is good. So we'll just keep working at it, I guess. I started doing the same with this door panel here, fixing that crack in the corner. So we'll see how that turns out. All right, we're back. I did what I said I was going to do. I took the JB Weld and I dabbed a little bit on the front, made sure I filled in that crack, and then I took the tape and rolled it. I fastened it, or I attached it to the panel, and just made sure as I went it was filling that crack with the JB Weld. And then what I did, because I realized something too, because of gravity, because this stuff is liquid enough, it gravity pulls it. So what I did was I actually I hung it upside down like this. That way all the I actually set it about like this. That way all the liquid, all the JB Weld flowed down towards the tape and hopefully filled that crack at the surface. So now we're going to pull this tape off and see how it turned out. Hopefully it turned out all right. I'm gonna be really bummed if it didn't. All right. Oh, the tape's sticking. All right. Well, it's not too bad. A lot of this might just peel off here, actually. Yeah, that's just peeling off, which is good. And underneath there's texture. It looks like it filled the crack all right. I may just need to get in here with the once it dries with some sandpaper and just sand that out a little bit. But it looks like it turned out a lot better than the last time I tried this. And I think once I paint over this, it will turn out pretty good. So yeah, you can see right there where the tape was. But this will just a lot of this will just peel off. It's still pliable enough, so that should work. I might do that and just see how it turns out. I did the same thing with this panel too. I did the same thing, flipped it over and just let it do its thing. So I'll check that out too. And once I get back and kind of touch these up a little bit, I'll report back on my findings. All right, everyone, we're back, and I gotta say, this turned out really well. Let's take a closer look here. Hopefully it'll focus and not get all blurry. You can see there's the hole I drilled to stop the crack. It runs all the way up there. And that texture, it matched perfectly. It got a little smooth right here, so I took a small screwdriver and I just scuffed it up a little bit just to kind of match that texture, similar to all this. And I think it turned out really good. I'm sure when I get paint on here, you won't even know there was a crack there. I'm really excited about that. I also did the half door panel here too. I did the same thing. I repaired the crack, put tape over it, and sorry if it's blurry. And while you can see the crack, it is smooth and filled in, and it's not going anywhere. So again, once I get paint on this, I think you won't ever know there was a crack there. So overall, I'm really happy. Fixing the panels turned out well, and the next video will be all about paint, so stay tuned. Alright, please forgive the wind noise, but I decided to do just a quick little walk around of the vehicle. This is how it sits now. It's on 32-inch tires on the original 16-inch Moab wheels, and all it's doing is sitting on a 2-inch budget boost. I've got the anti-rock in there, and it's got a 1.25-inch body lift on it. It's an awesome shape. I bought it with 57,000 miles on it. It's a 6-speed manual, has the khaki interior. It came with a hard top and a soft top, and it's just in excellent condition. I mean, I absolutely love this thing. So anyways, like I said, I have plans for this. It was completely stock when I built it, or when I bought it, and I'm going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff to it. And like I said, you can see back here, it's in nice shape too. Bought it from the original owner. It's well kept. So anyways, I plan on doing some pretty fun, crazy stuff to this. So if you guys are interested in the process, again, just let me know in the comments, and I'll start a build thread on this and document how I'm doing things. So thanks again for watching. I'll have the paint video out for you guys soon, all right?